Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for the 6th of May. And as yesterday we were looking at the SP 500 like this. We're looking from blue wave 4 to blue wave 5 here, with 5 smaller waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Now this little area through here, we've been counting it in different ways. It's been a little bit sort of complicated. I feel like it's got the right sort of fit here with wave 3 here, but we've had wave 3 over here, as you know, and we'll also look at that as well. My sort of focus was that the Wednesday and the Thursday, well, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday would be like the swing day in the market, and we would look at Friday being bullish. So kind of keep that in mind. Also too, of course, a break above 4.2 is an obvious place to go long at as well. The other count that we'd been looking at and working through was having slightly different pattern. I just need to explain this. What we were looking for, we had wave 3 here, and we're looking for an A wave, a B wave and a C wave down here. Now this C wave down here for wave 4 that we were looking for down here, we were looking for 5 waves in that move in the C wave, but we're just not getting the 5 waves here, so it counts better as a 3 wave move down through here. So that means that a C wave can have 3 waves in it, but it must be in a triangle. So yeah, if we're going to stay with this one over here, then we'll probably need to look at this as a triangle. Either way, there's not a lot of difference in all of this. Whichever way we look at it, we're still going to be completing wave 4. The thing here, though, is that we'd be looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave up here for wave D, and then down again for wave E, and then moving up. So it could get quite sort of complicated within all of this here. And also too, we can look at the levels of 100 and 200. They're the minor levels, and then we've got the midpoint in here, which will be important. Don't need to put group 1 in here, but group 2 starts with 80 and 65 and 72. So I think that that's where it's really going to play out in, and could get a little bit messy in that space. So I guess with this count, if you see, this can pull down a bit further here too before heading up, but we'll have a closer look at that. If you see over the next few sessions that you see it sort of trapped in this space here, then kind of think about this particular pattern. If you see a really clear break, if you see a move that comes down here and then just goes straight up from here and just go straight through, then you'll need to go long at that point, and then we'll have to go back to our other count here, which is probably, I mean, it looks right, but it's probably not right. And in that case, or in this case rather, we would look at this as wave 1 here, and then pulling back for wave 2 in this 61.8%, which we can place in here as well, just roughly. We'll take a closer look at this again as well, but that would be, so really the midpoint here, the 41.50, we don't want to see it really below that in this move down. So being wave 3 here leaves us with an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here for this, and then a 1 and 2, and we're pushing up higher at that point. So if you know, it's a bit of a tricky one really, because we could go long, we could just drop it down to this point here just for the time being. We'd be able to get a bit closer, but if you went long here and you got stuck in that triangle pattern coming back into this space here, then you would be long here basically, but then you may get stuck in all of this. So you're going to have to accommodate that emotionally and financially as well. So keeping the stop well out of the way. Wherever this top goes in here, just to give you an idea, so this top, if the market moves up to this trend line here or moves up to the top here and starts moving into this area through here, you'll still need to keep the stop under the 41.50. So you'd never put a stop on like a whole number like 50, and we don't put stops at 49 or 48 because all the orders will build up at 48 or 50. They'll come into 59 as the price gets closer to that. So we really want to be at 41, 47, but you'll get better results at 46 or 42. So most of our stops on the long side will end in 6 or 2. So that means 41, 42 or 41, 46. But the point is not to get stopped out. The other main point here that you could take away for a bit of comfort is that this move here is not 5 waves down, it's 3 waves down, so it's bullish corrective. So at some point we'll be going higher again. So that might give you some comfort to hold steady within all of this. You know, because the normal thing is that we buy high, and then what happens is that we get scared and we get out, you know. But just by knowing this is a corrective pattern here, bullish corrective pattern, at some point we'll be going higher. Right, so just going back to the hourly chart here. So there's a reasonable possibility that, you know, we could just go straight up from this point here and not come back in that triangle pattern, coming back, you know, into this space before heading off. But yeah, just be mindful of that. We'll go to the tick chart and we'll just have a quick look at it. So yeah, we've been looking at wave 3 over here with an A wave here, a B wave up here, and then I have to look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here. We had already counted all of this down here in 5 waves, so we know we've got 5 waves between wave B and wave C here, and we were looking for a wave 4, but it just moved up too high. And the move up here, let's just get into this a little bit. I can count this first leg up here in 5 waves. So it could be wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C wave here. The C wave's not finished with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but close to being finished. So if I was going to count this up here as an impulse wave, I'd have to count it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for 1 and 2. A little bit of a long shot, but you know, I feel like this one here is separate from these ones here. I feel like this is part of you know, part of its own trend. So it, you know, I don't know, it can be anyway. Then we got 5 waves up here and 4 and 5, and we got 5 here, which makes an A wave. So I'll have to call this the B wave and this the C wave here. So if we were looking at the triangle pattern, we would still be looking at an A and a B and a C wave for the D wave, and then down for the E wave here, and then up. So look, the takeaway is I think Friday will be bullish, and the Wednesday and what's Thursday today, isn't it? So yeah, I just think we could go long. You could probably go long down here, you know. That was probably a better idea as such. If I can turn that green, I can't see how to do that quickly, so I won't do it. But yeah, you could buy in this space. This should drop down here a bit further, so that would give you, you know, a better buying opportunity in this space here. Okay, enough waffling on there. I'll leave that now. And going over to the NASDAQ here, in this case we've been counting it with wave 4 here, with 1 and 2, and wave 3 here, and coming back for wave 4, and then going up for wave 5. So I think this is sort of okay. This is a little bit tricky to count down through here. I just felt that there was one more move to come into here, and it's normal for wave 4 to break wave 2 trend line, so don't worry about that too much. What does concern me though is wave 4 overlapping wave 1 here. So do we call this you know, up for 1 and back for 2, and up for 1 here, little 1 here, and back for 2. I could bring this 2 over here. I'm just shooting the breeze now for this because it's pulled back so far. It could be that, or we may have to look at all of this third wave here as an A wave here, an A, B, C for the B wave up here, and then down for the C wave over here for wave 4. So that B wave would go up here. Yeah, it doesn't tie it in very well with the S&P 500 if the market moves down through here. But as I mentioned early in the week as well, it's really the sort of late Thursday, Friday, late Thursday session after lunch and Friday that that would sort of expect it to be bullish. So kind of look for that and look for your trade setups in that time space there. I don't think, yeah, like I said, it's. I mean, yesterday when we spoke, we were looking at wave 3 here with an A wave, a B wave here, and we're looking at this as wave 1. I did have wave 2 over here, but yeah, I'm finding it quite difficult to count this down here. You know, I mean, if on the S&P, I can count that down as 3 waves there. So, you know, perhaps that's it there. Just a little bit messy in here and here and so on. It's probably wave 3 to here. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to here for 3, back for 4, and coming down for 5 here. But I could sort of be wrong here, and the market could just take this high out here as well. I'm just a little bit unsure about this. I don't know, but that's why I'm thinking 2 things. Is that thinking that really that Friday morning session to look for strength in that. And anything above the 13,007, this is group 2 here. So we're sitting on the midpoint here. This was our original target at 13,500. So, you know, we're here and we're vibrating with that. I'm not sure if we get another move down here and a move up, or we just sort of use this as wave 1 and 2 here and then move up from that point. But taking that top out there would be a starting point, so you could do that, but just to be a little bit sort of safer, because I don't know what's going on here, is I'm looking for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on that orange line, which is in the center of group 2, so 13,720, and we're looking for a pattern just expanding it up like this. So you'll need to go obviously to the intraday, but the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the corrective move, and then look for support. So it's migrating from resistance to support, and it will either do this, or a variation on this is this one where it doesn't come below the level. And the third pattern that occurs at the level would be this one here, where it doesn't stop, and the distance it goes above is normally the distance it goes below. But if it's in group 2, it's going to be quite tight within that space. But it's good to understand these 3 patterns, because there's not a lot that can actually happen when you reach a price. So when you reach a price, after it's got the level here as the price, so the price could either do one of these 3 things, or could just go straight through and never come back, or hit the level and never come back. But if it's going to spend a bit of time there, it's going to be doing one of these 3 things. And it's kind of good to really understand this. It really just helps support not only the Elliott, but also your trading systems and your entries and stops and so on. So I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to have a look at some stocks, the normal half a dozen stocks. So with Amazon here, we can see that it's completed its 5-wave structure to the upside. As I've mentioned before, it's made a high above wave 3, above this wave 3. I think this is a very small high here, and it does concern me a little bit. So I'm thinking that all of this move up here can still just be wave 1, with wave 2 coming back into this space here. And we can look at this here. I can count, I know it's a bit weird, but quite sharp, but I can count this down as an ABC pattern here. But let's just say that I've got that wrong for a moment, and we'll go in and check that. The other point here is that we would see a rally and then another move down before seeing a move up again. But I'm not quite sure about this. I need to gather more information about having this as 1 and 2 here for this. We can go into the tick chart to read this, but I have to say it's a little bit tricky to read. So this being the top here, we don't have a trade in this. So as I mentioned yesterday, I don't want to count this spike as the top here. I want to count this as the top, because from this low here, this ABC pattern, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 and 5 here. So I see this quite often, so I'm not that fussed about it, but experience tells me that I need to use this high. Based on that, I can count 5 waves in here, in this line. I can count 5 waves in this little line here, as we did yesterday, and we could count 5 waves in this move here, as we did yesterday. So we were looking for, possibly, if we looked at this as, well, I don't know this yet, but as the A wave here, the B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave for this. So it is possible that this may not be finished just yet. Doesn't matter that much, but this is our 61.8% retracement level here, roughly. So as far as the crow flies, we actually have here already, we have an A and a B and a C wave down to this point when that finishes there, right? Now, it's not to say that this can't turn into 5 waves here. So it may give us a 4th wave and then a 5th wave down here. Now, if it does that, then we've got a bigger bearish picture happening at that point. So because we get 5 waves all the way down here, that means we'll get a corrective move back up as a B wave, or wave 2, taking us down much further, and which I think would be the case. So I'm going to put wave 2 over here for that. And because we've got 5 waves here, that means that we'd get 5 waves over this side. So that means that we would look to be shorting over here. We would understand where we can look to short based on those 5 waves moving down. So if it doesn't, if this here, we can just check that out in a moment on 20 ticks perhaps. But when this is finished here, we really want to see it move straight back up from that point. Because if it just moves back up to let's just get this in. So let's just imagine for a moment this is wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So we can take this top here and we take this down to wherever that low is. That's something that you can do. So I think there's a little bit more to be had here. So that would bring us down here. So if that was the case, if we looked at this as wave 1 and 2 here and this C wave here as wave 3, and then we'd look to come back to wave 4, we'd be looking for the 38.2% retracement level. So that's what you'll need to do. You'll need to look for that 38.2% retracement level and take the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and then put that there like that. So that move that's coming back up here, we don't know if that's just going to keep on going or if it's going to keep on going, or it's going to stop and give us a little 4th wave down here in that instance. So 4th wave, and then down for the 5th. So what I'm saying is when this market comes back up here, find out where the 38.2% retracement level is and the top of the wave 4 here, and then it's only when the market finds support, a tested support with a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top of the wave 4 there, of this wave 4, that you could go long from. So what we could do here, I know that's going to go down further, so I'll know where everything is. So what I can do is just clean these up here a little bit. I'll leave some of that. So we can take that level here, and if you wanted to go long, then you'd need to get a classic trading levels pattern on that. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC pattern, and then you can go to the upside. then you can build. That would be the safe trade to the upside. So I don't know what we've got here, because normally in a correction, I like to wait for the first move to come down. You know, if I was here, then I would, you know, I would say that, you know, you could short under this low here for that. But I wasn't there at the time because we had 5 waves here. That means we could short under that to capture the next lot. But we're way down here now where we can get trapped. So we just need to take a bit more caution. Okay, so Alphabet, yeah, as I mentioned yesterday, we've had a long-term trade in this. We've taken a few percentages. We've been stopped out here. We're expecting the market to be sort of bullish again, so we can go long again on this. It's not a fantastic trade because we'll just be heading up towards, you know, somewhere above the medium level here, 2,500. But we could drop that down a little bit in here. I'll just have a look on the tick chart here. I'll just go to 20 ticks and have a look at that, see what we got here. Well, that's 5 waves in that move. This is here. So it looks like, I mean, that looks impulsive, but we should be expecting another move down. We can certainly go long above. Well, we normally start here and here and here. We can go long above those. I think we can go long above this level here if you wanted to, because that would be a change in trend at that point, at 23.50. So you could look for a classic trading levels pattern at that point here for this. So you'd have to wait. It looks impulsive here, so it might pull back. But apart from that, this is where the supply is. So there will be some type of pattern that occurs here, and this is where you can go long from. You can also look to do the same thing and build on this trade at the 24 as well. So you could do the same thing here and just look for that. And just the first high above the level's fine. And yeah, move in on that there to move up to that point. So that's, in a nutshell, we can go long at that point there. So I'll just take this back to the daily chart, and so there's the 23.50 there. We'll put a line through that at 23.50. So a nice tested support on that. We can look to go long at. So I'll put that there. We don't need that. So yeah, otherwise we'll look for this move back here if that top is actually in play here. So we can move on from this one and look at Apple. So with Apple here, the takeaway here is that this is the top. We've got 5 waves down here, and we've been looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, looking for this top. We've traded parts of that. We're looking for the turn now. Now this market could still be bullish as well. Will it move up with the other markets? That's something that we need to look at. Let's just go in and see what's what here. Okay, so I'm trying to figure things out a little bit in here, as you know. So from the top over here at the 138, 140 sort of area, making a few assumptions here, but I think that they're okay. First of all, the move down to this point, we look as wave 1 or wave A here. And then we look at this as an A wave, a B wave in 3, and then a C wave in 5 to make 2 or B. And then if it's going to be an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, then that's going to be the low here. So if that's going to be the low, then the market will push up. 130 is the top of minor group 1, so that's really the important thing. So a classic trading levels pattern here would be helpful. So if you are thinking of going long here, then you need that as support. So once again, we'd be looking for something like this, which we've got here already. We'll still need that to push up the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then some sort of ABC pattern here. I'm probably dramatizing it a bit too much, but you know, you get the point here for that. So that's where you can go long. If, however, because this is still the first leg down, so I wait to see if it's going to be in 5 waves or 3 waves. So as an A, B, C here, it will be in 3 waves, but it can't make any more lows here for this. If we make a new low here, well, then we're going to have 5 waves down. And if we have 5 waves down here, that means we're going to have a counter trend in 3 waves, going back to wave 2, and then we're going to be going down again. So if we do get 5 waves down here, then we're going to be looking to short wave 2 here in an A and a B and a C correction here for this. So we'll look at that when we get there, but let's confirm what we have first, and then we'll know what we're going to get next. So a little bit more patience for Apple. And Square, yeah, I mean, I've been dancing around this a little bit in different ways, but we don't forget that this move from the top down to the low here is in 3 waves. It's very clear that it's in 3 waves. We've got 5 waves to the first move here, and then we've got the B wave and the C wave here. So this, because this is corrective, it makes the rest of this corrective, bullish corrective. So we will make a new high above here at some point. It's just trying to find that. And yeah, there's different ways of looking at it, and I've been wondering if we get wave C down here, and that would be wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So the buying opportunity will be way down here. So let's go in and have a look at this. Now, one of the important things here is that it may be possible that this is just the A wave here and the B wave here and the C wave here for wave 4, and wave 4 is actually over here, and all this is wave 1 here, and we go back for an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, and then we head up higher at that point. So in that regard, we can look at this. I'm just looking at both sides of the coin. I know it can be helpful or annoying. So we're really at the 61.8% here already for this. So it is possible that we could call this up for wave 1. I'll just pop that there for a moment, just so I know that I've talked about it. I don't have to. So yeah, 5 waves in this last move here, and we could go straight up from that point. So we just need to be mindful of that as well. So what we need to do is look at being long there. But of course, really, this is the medium level, which is halfway between 2 major levels, and the major levels are just the Fibonacci sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then we go back to 1 again. So the 8 will become 10. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. But this is a medium level, and it's really becoming a bit of a balance point within this, bit top on the balance point, but there. So if that 250 becomes the support, then you can go long from that point. Otherwise, we'll need to look for further downside. Let's go in and take a closer look and see where we're at with this. Okay, so we have talked about it being wave 1, and yeah, what I haven't really made clear here though is that this can be wave C here as well, and that can be wave B, and this can be wave A here. So it can be an A, B, C wave here for blue wave 2. We just need to be a little bit mindful about this. So anyway, we've got our first 5 waves here, and then we're getting our second 5-wave structure, because if you get 5 waves in the opposite direction of the trend, which is the trend up here, we get 5 waves in the opposite direction. That means we'll get a correction back to the 50-60%, which we've got, and then we'll start counting down here. And this is what I've been doing here. This first little wave here, scratching my head a bit about it. It's a bit bit difficult to count, but I think at the end of the day, this ABC pattern here is pretty solid, so I can use that and use that as one here. I could put it in here, wave one, but still it don't matter. Still end up with wave two over here. And then this wave one counts okay. This one here, I could have that wrong in here, but that's, well, I'll get to that. I might have to readdress that later. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that 230 there, this box, that's the 61.8%. So we can see that the market's just bobbing along within that box, and on top of group one here too. So from 200 we've got 1, 2, 3 here, which are the minor levels. So from the major levels, the next level down is the medium level, then the minor levels, then the sub levels, and then the micro levels. So it depends on how you want to trade. But look, anyway, what I was sort of waiting for here is just to see if this would fill out here. We still need, it looks like, you know, even as a wave C here, we still need a little bit more here. This is not really giving me 5 waves here, so it looks like some sort of A, B, or maybe wave 5 drops in here or something, I don't know, but we could come back here and then down again here before, you know, taking off up there, or coming back here again for this. I mean, moving down further. So still a bit to work through here. As I mentioned, the takeaway is really the support on the 250. It's a long way away. You could probably go long on the 240 with a classic trading levels pattern. So we could put the 240 here. And the reason for that is because we've got our wave 4s here. This wave 4, this wave 4, and this wave 4. They can all sit there. So if that becomes the support, then we can go long from that point. So just perhaps bear that in mind. Probably a good idea to have a look at PayPal as well. I think Alessio did PayPal on last night's chart. So I think it's got a little C wave coming down further for that. So we'll just see how this plays out here. I'm just pointing. I like to look at both sides. I don't want to put my head in the sand unless there's a really good reason for putting my head in the sand. But yeah, let's just see if this is going to be a C wave or wave 3 here. So we've just got more time to wait here. So no point in going long at this stage. And let's move along. So Facebook. So I was counting from this low here, going up here, and I was just still 1 wave short in my 5 waves going up here. Maybe it's in there, but I just thought I'd give it a bit of a chance to mosey along a little bit. But the thing is, it's had its classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then pulling back into here, really just sort of sat there and then took off here. But it hasn't found support on top of 33 here, the top of group 1. And that's important, because if it found support on top of group 1, then I know that it would be leaving this number here. But it hasn't, and it's still part of this number. It's still part of group 1 to here, and also group 2 to here, the 80. Now, the other point here is that when a market's normally being traded above the level here, the minor levels, 1, 2, and 3, once the market's been trading up here somewhere and it comes back and it finds the number 2 here as the retested resistance, then it will be pulled back to this number. Now, it would need to make a new low here to say that it's gone back and retested it and dropping from that point. So yeah, it is looking on the weaker side. We'll have a look on the tick chart and just see what we can make of that, and bring in a bit more. So yeah, I was counting up here, and like I said yesterday, that you know, maybe the wave little 3 and 4 is actually in here to make the top here, but I was counting 1 and 2 here and then counting this up, and we got that news report, but it just hadn't finished, you know. So what I was going to do, what I'm doing at the moment is, well, I just thought I'll let it play out. First of all, the 310 is the retracement level that we're looking at here. So beyond that, and it's over. But as an A wave here and a B wave here, because that's in 3 waves here, B wave here, or wave 2, but we'll stay with the B wave for a moment. So an A and a B and 5 waves down for the C wave of 4 here. Now, I know that it's big, but it hasn't overlapped wave 1 here. Or we could look at all of this as wave 1 up here and coming back for wave 2 at this point, which is another thing that we could look at as well with this. I'm not quite sure, but what I was thinking is that we can clearly see we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the 3rd wave. We're looking for the 4th wave yesterday, so that's come into play, and then we're looking for, and now we're looking for the 5th wave to come down. So either way, when that does come down here, it's going to go back to this point here anyway. So it might not be a bad thing just to buy on the 310 or the 313, which will be the sub-level. 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? So yeah, buying on 2 or 3, 312, 313, because that would get you back up to here, and we could look what it looks like at that point. Otherwise, we'll look for support on this level here. But because if this is a corrective move up here, so the other way to look at this would be wave 1 and 2, and then we would be coming down for wave 3 here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 here, and then we can look at, I know this gets a bit complicated, but wave 4 here. So this wave 4 would pull, if it was going to be more bearish, I'm saying this would be wave 3, that would be wave 4, and then we would come down for wave 5 coming into this space here, and then we'll get a bounce back here as an ABC, and then we'll go down again after that. So if we do get 5 waves down here, we'll be looking for the short trade over this side. But if we just get the ABC here, then, you know, you might want to buy it on here and sell it back here if you're that short, you know, if you're trading in that space. I'm not sure, but if we can figure out that we've got 5 waves up here rather than 3 waves, then we could look for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on this level here and then going up from that point. So I don't want to put that just breaching the wave 4 there. That's too dangerous. So we need that classic trading levels pattern sitting there. So I'm just going to move that over a little bit, and whatever I draw here just disappears, because when I close the program, everything I draw on this side of the tick chart just gets pushed back to the behind the price, back over this side. So if things look different when I do them next time, that's the reason why. So if you get a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top here and finding this as support again here, then we can go long from that point, because we have to remember that, you know, we're looking for the NASDAQ to move higher and the S&P to move higher as well. So not that Facebook has to, you know, follow them. It can do its own thing. It's more the indices following these guys, you know. Anyway, we'll just wait for that. And Tesla. So yeah, the bearish case is every day is improving, confirming itself. So wave 3 up here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave moving down here. As I mentioned, the biggest problem here, there's a few big problems here, is that once again we've got 2 major levels, and we've got the medium level here, 650, which is really playing out as quite a central role for this market, this pattern. And so that's really the support. So we're going to see a fair bit of, you know, volatility in this space here. We've also got this trend line coming through here, and also from the low to the high here, it's also sitting quite close to the 61.8%. So the 650 here would be the 78.6% square root of 61.8%, the next Fibbo level, so to speak. It's going to be a bit of a rough journey in this space here. We would like to hold a trade above the 650 and then look to add once we're below the 650. I just think that it's going to get a bit messy, that's all. just on the tick chart here. We'll just bring it back in. Let's bring some data in and see what we've got. It's plenty of data, but from the top here, I'm looking down here as wave 1. And yes, I know I have to repeat this, but wave 4 here overlaps wave 1. So you can't really put wave 1 here because there's not 5 waves in that structure here. It just doesn't make sense. So I think it's better off just being a little bit philosophical about it and putting wave 1 here, and that leaves us with a nice ABC here as well for that. And then I've been counting down here. I've cleaned this up a little bit, but 1 and 2, 5 waves for 3, 4 and 5 here. So we've got 5 waves in this section here. So the only way to count it is wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. And then we're looking for 1 and 2 here to go down further. So as I mentioned, this is the 650. We're expecting a lot of bounces off this. Now this little move, you can see it sitting on the trend line here nicely. So this low here, this little move up here counts as an A and a B and a C. It's not 5 waves, so it's not impulsive. It's corrective, but it doesn't mean that it's finished. We could look at all of this as the A wave here, the little blue A wave, then A, B, C for the B wave, and then a C wave coming here, and then dropping from that point. I don't know, or we could just drop from here. I really don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's pulled back up to its 61.8% where we wanted it to, and it's in 3 waves. We've got this down here. This could be wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, and then down here again. I'm not quite sure. I think that we're bearish, but either way, we talked about getting a short trade in here yesterday. You may have gotten it here. I can't recall what I said. We're just shooting the breeze about it. But now that it's played up here, this is group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80 here. Once that becomes the resistance here, then you can look to short it. So I was just looking at this here. Just want to peg that in there. I'll go back and double check that count later. It's nothing at this stage. Because this is corrective, we should be making new lows here. So yeah, and we also want to get a position under here as well. I'll just put that to there, and I'll just move this because, as I mentioned, when I close the program, anything I put over here gets shoved back over here behind the price when it closes. So, yeah, that's sort of where we are with Tesla. So, I mean, yesterday we kind of said that not to be too particular, having a very small position in here, in this space, is fine. And then the idea was to look to add to it under the 650 there. Okay, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.